Has your child experienced social bullying? In this video, we're going to talk about what you can do to help them handle that, and that's coming right up. Hi, I'm Holly McLean, the Mommy Answer Lady. I'm a certified parent educator, mom of 9, and author of How to Train Your Child to Behave. Social bullying is when someone is manipulating others to leave someone out. So the bully would be manipulating other people to leave someone else out of the group, telling others not to be friends with them, spreading rumors about them, or embarrassing them in front of others. And this can happen either online or in person. So in this video, I'm going to talk to parents about what you can do to help your children deal with social bullying. Number 1, address it. This would be for when you're talking about young children. So you want to get the children that are involved in the situation and you want to talk to them about the social bullying. When my child was young, he was outside playing and he was being social bullied by a neighbor. In that, the neighbor was playing with someone else at the time and he said, "You can't play with us." So he was doing that social bullying where he was pushing my son out of the group. And that was social bullying, right? So when they're young, it's appropriate for the adult to get involved and say, "That's not okay. You can't do that. You need to include everyone who wants to play to be a part of what you're doing." Especially if there's no problem with you. There was no problem between them or anything. He just wanted to be, he was just social bullying for his power, the power situation. And I think it's important that parents get involved. You don't want to leave your child just out there with nobody to back them up, right? Now, we're talking about young children because when we're talking about older children, you don't handle it the same way. Okay, so with younger children, you want to get involved in that you address the situation. And sometimes you can talk with the other parent about what's going on. You could say, "Hey, this isn't appropriate, and I know that you want your child to always involve others and be kind, and I know I want mine to, so why don't we talk to our children about that we need to not socially bully anybody by pushing them out of the group." Number 2 would be for older children. That's be supportive and advise them. So you wouldn't do the same thing with a teenager, right? You're not going to go into a group of teenagers and try to tell them that, unless you're their teacher or something. But you're a parent, you're not going to walk into their peer group and start talking to them about social bullying, right? So you can't do that. But you want to be there to support and advise your child about what they can do to change the situation. Number 3, find a supportive peer group. A lot of times what's going on is they're being socially bullied at school. And if that's happening at school, just remember that's not the only peer group they have, unless that's all they have the opportunity to have. So open up their world to other opportunities of other kids that they can be friends with. For instance, they could go to Scouts, they could go to a church youth group, they could go to a drama club, they could go to 4-H, there's lots of youth activities and groups that your child can get involved in. Their sports teams, right? And one of the things we talk about in the physical bullying is they could get involved in a self-defense class. So the thing is, you want to give them opportunities to have other peer groups, so the only group they're going to isn't the one that's socially bullying them. Instead, they need to find a peer group that they can get along with and have friends, and so they can feel supported by other friends. Number 4, open your home. When your child is feeling socially bullied, you want to make sure that you open your home so that they can bring their friends over and spend time in your home. When your child is the host or hostess of the group, that puts them in a different position with those peers. And so you want to ask them, who can you invite over? What friends would you like to have over, or acquaintances that you want to become friends? And have them come over and have some interaction. Now, that doesn't always mean that at the end they're going to be best friends forever. It doesn't mean that. Sometimes they're just not very kind kids. But what you want to do is you want to open your home so that your child has that option of making friends and having a social circle outside just the time that they're at school or at another event. So if they're having this problem, open your home. Number 5, Teach them to stand up for others. If they observe social bullying by others, have them invite the person who's the victim of the bullying into the group that they're in. So this is not when it's happening to them, but if they observe it happening to someone else, have them invite that person into their peer group. They also need to stop any rumors that are happening. So if they hear someone say something that is trying to isolate others by saying, giving a rumor, ruining the reputation or whatever, have your child recognize that and stop it by saying that's not an appropriate thing to say, or that's not true, whichever it may be. Sometimes it is true, but a lot of times it's just a rumor, it's not even true. So tell your child not to engage in spreading it further and to try to stop it when it comes to them. And offer support and friendship to the victim. So whenever they see that, not only with their peer group inviting them in, but also being supportive of that person and making sure that they have a friend. What that does for your child, if your child isn't the one being bullied, what that does for your child is gives them the reputation of being friendly and kind and supportive to everyone around them. That's going to be to their benefit. And number 6, if it's online, block the bullies. There's no reason your child needs to continue to deal with social bullying online. So let them know if they're starting to be isolated by others online, they just need to block the people that are doing that. And there's plenty of other friends that they can start being friends with and socializing with. They should not allow themselves to be socially bullied online. So tell them, make sure they understand what it means and make sure that they understand they need to block those people. Remind them that the way that they respond to bullying is number 1, to take the power away from the bully, and number 2, be kind in return. When they can do that, when they can agree with their adversary quickly, as we talked about in the other video about bullying, and when they can return it with a kind word, they take the power away from the bully. Let them know that if they do that in this situation and throughout life, they're going to find a lot of success and they're going to have a good reputation with others. Has this video been helpful to you, or this series on bullying been helpful? If so, please like this video and be sure to subscribe and share. Parents, you can do this. I hope to see you here again next week.